Welcome back to all of you co-creators and miracle workers all around the world. After a short hiatus, I am back and I have so much to share. My last video was about relationships and that everything that we have in the universe, we actually have some relationship with. We have a relationship with ourselves, with the greater. For some people, that may be science. For others, it may be God. For others, it may be the universe or source. It doesn't matter, but just some connection to some intelligence and presence in the universe. We also have relationships with our body, with money, with food, with um, personal and professional relationships. But today, I want to take this to a new level, to a slightly deeper level, because what I want to share is a secret on how we actually can come back into our power and actually begin to evolve and change for the better our relationships with everything and everyone. And it begins with the ending of the blame game. When we can stop blaming everything outside of us and everyone outside of us, when we can stop pointing that finger and we can actually take personal responsibility for what it is within us that we can do differently, that we can change, we then actually come into our power again. Because what happens when we point our finger outside, when we blame things outside of us and people outside of us and around us, we actually are giving them our power. What we're really saying is whatever it is or whomever it is, you have the power to ruin my day or my life because it's your fault that I'm experiencing what I'm experiencing. Now, let's stop for a moment because this raises a lot of questions for people. But Chanel, they blah, blah, blah to me. And Chanel, but every time I step outside, I begin sneezing and that darn pollen is just so bad. Or Chanel, but money never seems to come towards me. Well, in all of those three examples I just gave, what we're really doing is blaming the things and the people outside of us for our life experience. This does not mean that what somebody may have said or done is of the highest caliber, is coming from kindness or compassion. I'm not saying that at all. But what I am saying is when we end the blame game and we accept personal responsibility, what happens is we actually begin to achieve personal excellence, professional excellence, and actually spiritual excellence. Let me give you a few examples. And let me actually step back for a moment and share with you that everything in the universe is energy. And everything has an electromagnetic field, including all of our being, our body, our mind, our spirit, our soul. When we have thoughts, emotions that we've either said or not said, or held within, or blurted out, we're basically essentially putting a vibration in our field and also around us. And what happens is if we actually realize that if everything in the universe is energy, then what happens is the law of resonance and the law of vibration will actually attract to us what either lives within us or what we project out. I could go on and on about the science behind this, but just simply stated, what we vibrate with from the inside and what we hold inside of us or put outside is what will be reflected back to us. It's a resonance, it's a vibrational match, it's science. Now, from a spiritual perspective, what we want to begin seeing as that the things in our life that bring us challenges, or the people in our life that bring us challenges, they are actually teachers trying to show us that there is something within us that we must change so that we can have a different experience. Sometimes, if we're having a challenge in a relationship, whether it's personal or professional, where we feel disrespected, unheard, um, dismissed, shut down, uh, belittled, patronized, I could go on and on. When this happens to us from a place of lower consciousness and powerlessness, we might say, you, you make me feel worthless. You make me, um, you know, unimportant. And what I'm going to say is, both from a place of science and both from a place of spirituality, whether we see it as life as a teacher, that person as a teacher, or we see it vibrationally as the law of resonance and the law of vibration reflecting back to us something within us that's attracting and creating that experience, then what we will realize is that when we change what's within us, we actually will experience a different reality. So, in that same situation where we may have felt um, dismissed or worthless or shut down or not heard, what we do in that moment is to say, what within me might be vibrating? What thoughts, what emotions, what old life patterns do I have within me that are reflecting back to me a sense of feeling unimportant, worthless, dismissed? Perhaps that teacher, that person, is actually here to help you to find a voice. Perhaps that teacher is here to help you to learn how to set boundaries. Perhaps that teacher is actually showing you that there is buried sense of worthlessness or lack of self-respect and self-love that we must heal. Because when we change what is within us, that vibration changes. And from a place of science, then what happens is there's a law of resonance and law of vibration. When we begin to love ourselves and we begin to appreciate ourselves and we begin to see our personal worth, we begin to see that our voice matters. What reflects back to us are people that will say those things back to us. Whether it's that person or not, I'm not interested in just staying stuck there. I'm looking from a broader perspective. Healing our relationships is an inside out job. And an inside out job means we stop the blame game. We end it. Blame is a lower vibration, taking back your power to choose to learn what that teacher is teaching you. And it doesn't mean that the teacher's always easy. In fact, some of our most amazing classes in school may have been from our most difficult teachers. So that's just one example. And I want to give you two more examples. So I received this a lot from people, and I had this personal experience myself, is I was allergic to a lot of things. I was allergic to mold, which happens to be everywhere in a humid city like Austin, Texas. And I was struggling with seasonal allergies, especially mold. And, I did my best at managing. And I also did my best at blaming. It was the mold. Oh, it's mold season. It's this season. It's that season. And that was to blame. Oh, it's the pollen. What I realized through my journey is when I began to do this relationship rehaul, if you will, I had to really change my relationship with what the allergies were all about. I was essentially blaming pollen, for example, as if pollen is far more powerful than me. And wait a minute, what is pollen? Pollen is nature's way to pollinate something new. So, what if our allergic reaction, like something we don't want the pollen? Well, maybe it's not the pollen. Maybe it's our resistance to change. It's our resistance to doing something different and new in the way we live our life. I've worked with a lot of people who have healed through allergies. And those that are willing and have the courage to really understand that they are having to change, not blaming the things outside of them because that will render them powerless. So, blaming pollen, mold, whatever that might be, renders us powerless. But to say, oh, I wonder what that allergy is teaching me, that is a whole new story. And that, by the way, can allow healing that you may never have even expected possible. So, once again, we're not just stopping the blame game with people, we're also beginning to look at where in life are we putting our blame and our powerlessness. Who are we giving power to and what are we giving power to that makes us miserable? And we got to turn that story around and we got to dig a little deeper about what we have to change within us. And the last example I'm going to leave you with is money. So we talked about people, only an example around allergies, which is more around our body and nature and its relationship. And then the last is money. So what I notice with money is that, and I can speak for myself too, I can speak from a perspective of my ancestral past and the stories of my ancestral past where some of these patterns existed. But I literally hear people repeatedly say, but money isn't coming to me and money isn't coming to me and money keeps flowing out of my bank account and or I can't get it or it goes away. Again, the conversation is about money and the blame is to the money. And when we turn that story around and say, I wonder what it is within me that's creating this experience where I either can't bring in, I can't receive that money, or what I do receive, what little I do receive, just keeps getting poured out into fix-its or into healthcare expenses or into helping extended family. We have to stop blaming the money and we have to start healing our relationship with money by saying, what has my relationship been with money and success? What has been my ancestors' relationship with money and success? What have I seen, learned, and memorized within my subconscious about money? Again, when we end the blame game, we finally step into our power. And it is my invitation to you that you become more powerful. Even one step at a time, you become more powerful and begin accepting personal responsibility. That doesn't mean what you did was wrong. It means that you're willing to take a good look inside of you. And from a place of science and from a place of our soul's evolution, it's an inside out job. Because when we change what's inside of us, when we take personal responsibility to change what we need to change, our outer reality changes. I look forward to actually being back here again, sharing more about relationships because there is so much more to uncover. So I look forward to having you as well join me and others May 15th, 2021, and then June 12th, 2021. Those are on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, where I am going to be doing a two-part mini series all about relationships, where we'll be diving deeper into all of these concepts and some, and helping you to unravel and really get a roadmap on how you can begin healing relationships, ones with yourself, with others, with money, with your body, with the greater presence in the universe. And also, I sure hope you liked what I had to share today. Sometimes that hard truth is actually what sets us free. So thank you for stopping by and listening. I hope that you will subscribe so that you can get a lot more content from me. Hit the like button and share, because the more people we can help, the happier this place will be. Many blessings from my heart to yours. Thank you.